that much happened last time, but we started out in the Castle Respite and was about to head out towards the Westerlands to rescue the warden of the West, is it? No, the warden of the, like, what's it called?
Who you're rescuing?
We're rescuing Tyrell.
Yeah, but like the warden of the
south.
Okay. Right. Okay. So before heading out, we needed a reason to sort of bring Bree along, and nobody sort of spoke up until Kievan said that we should bring her along because she would be useful. So Servant went to get Bree, and we then headed out along the road. And there was some discussion if where we should head, if we should travel along the road or travel through the countryside, because there were some patrols that we heard of being in the southern Westerlands, keeping track of whoever went in and out, really. But we decided to go along the road, and we sort of came upon some mercenaries keeping tolls, and basically threatened us to take everything we got in this. Oh yeah, we got the silk wagon in. Where was that?
Garden. Got it in High Garden.
Yeah, right. Got that in High Garden, and Bree also found some like letters of marque from a merchant in High Garden that we used to, or that we were gonna use to basically prove that we were silk merchants. But they didn't really care. They just said that they would take everything, and yeah. So we decided instead to fight them, and it went all right. Except Varen wasted some destiny points for no reason. And now we're gonna continue towards Landisport, right? That is our first destination to find out information about where the Warden of the South is.
Yes. Lord Tyrell, the Longthorn, as they like to say. A pretty important personality in everyone's lives as you're sort of located in the Reach. And someone who certainly is important to the kingdoms as a whole, with the Reach being the largest of the realms, of the kingdoms, I suppose. Though you're not really allowed to call them that too much. Yeah. Regardless, you have been traveling for a few days. You have passed. Oh, I'm blanking on the name. The castle of Craighall, and yeah, you are well on your way towards Landisport. You've made good time, given that you're sort of have kind of wanted to. You're all sort of strong people. You don't really need to rest as much. You don't really have any problems with that. You sort of just pushed on. The wagon isn't super fast though, and since horses isn't really that big a thing either, it's not like you make good time for people on foot. And as you move along the road, you generally don't really meet a lot of people, presumably because maybe you're faster than most, or maybe there's just not that many here. Maybe not so many people got through the checkpoint, and whoever might be coming after you, maybe they're a little freaked out or something. But you don't really catch up to anyone either, really. As you travel along, though, in the distance, you begin to hear ahead of you the sound of dogs barking. You know, at least some of you do, and who can easily share it. Some of the NPC knights do as well. That the Westerlands are known very well for their dogs. The hunting dog, the dogs in general, are very appreciated animals. particularly here and in the Stormlands. The title of Kennel Master is generally one that is very appreciated, even though it doesn't really give you much of a status to have it. Sort of artificially almost, or uplifted a little bit from your rank as commoner, if you're really good with dogs. Ashra will look to you. Mensa Lagood looks around. Orin's down behind, being quiet and brooding, so doesn't really say much. And Ashra will be the first one to speak up about it. Basically, there's probably a little bit of small talk going on, but the best stories have been told at this point. So, it's sort of getting to that period where you've traveled together enough that you sort of got to know each other well enough to know most of the good stories, but not really long enough for you to have experienced a lot of things you can reminisce about. Since most of this is just walking, maybe saying, that's a weird-looking tree, someone says, and someone looks and says, oh, it is, yeah. And then, yeah. Ezra will break his head, sitting on the wagon, choosing not to walk, for the most part. Basically pipe up. Sounds like there are hounds approaching. I suppose that would mean that someone's going to come and check out our wagon again. Looking to Alaric.
Stalks over into the bushes a bit to get another nice shot at things if they come up and needs to be shot.
Yeah.
I'll make some more bushes available for you.
Can you kick me from the server?
Probably.
Great start.
I think to be
Let's see
kicked.
here.
I don't know. It's this and like Battle.net.
You go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Lark will kind of give a sort of exhausted look and say, yeah, no doubt they're going to be rude, obnoxious, and probably want to start a fight.
Well, as if they brought dogs, it's unlikely to be mercenaries, at least.
He nods.
I haven't heard of anyone who's any mercenaries using dogs. Well, I haven't really been across the sea a whole lot. Just seems to consider that as if for the first time.
Does I remember any people across the sea using dogs?
Dogs aren't as popular. The Giscari eat them, and so there's a bit of a. The Valerians never really were super into dogs. They had dragons, so there was never really a big thing about them. The Volantine have their elephants and like camels and stuff. The Dothraki eat dog meat for the reason, and there's also like packs of dogs roaming and such. They're not particularly held as useful work animals too much. I mean, some people use them, but it's not a big thing, and not in like military.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Alaric will agree and say, I've not heard of that either, but I've seen some weird things, and it wouldn't surprise me.
So what should our approach be? Looking for people, basically.
We'll see if we can get through without bloodshed, but be ready for it regardless.
They're most likely going to ask about a lot of things. He frowns.
And Larry kind of looks over the wagon at Bree and looks back at Asher and says, I think between your silver tongue and her bemusing talents, we can get somewhere.
So, I suppose this is maybe where Asher normally would have made some sort of, joke or an innuendo, but he seems, this whole mission again seems to be dragging him down a little bit. The current situation.
I think war drags down most people, though.
As you continue ahead, you see basically a 4 horses and a half dozen dogs approaching down the road from the north. Not the south, remarkably. They basically unhorse themselves a little bit ahead of you and begin walking towards you. It seems to be a person clad in fairly heavy armor. It sort of has a gold and red markings on it. It's sort of a red color with golden lines at the edges.
Mm-hmm.
And then he is flanked basically by a couple of people wearing pretty big crossbows, who are also sort of decently armored. The dogs are sort of swarming around a frail-looking man who seems to be of he's probably a kennel master. Is probably a good guess. And he seems to be keeping a little bit of a distance compared to the others, who do indeed just walk right ahead towards you.
Are there a huge amount of dogs?
Half a dozen.
Okay. I've thought worse.
Yes. These are not malnutritioned, nor do they seem mad.
Okay.
He basically walks up to people looking at you. Their crossbows are loaded, but they're pretty heavy, so they probably could only really fire one shot before they would have to take their time to reload them.
Mm-hmm.
They are fierce-looking things, though.
Yeah.
So this guy walks forward, looking at you. Says, "Who are you? What's this?" Looking at all the people in armor, particularly.
All right. Yay!
Back a little bit.
Bree pipes up and says, "Good day to you. I am the son of a silk merchant, traveling to Lannisport. On my first mission, are you looking to buy some silk?"
It's just silk merchants. So it looks at you. A little bit. Could you roll a deception check for me?
Sure, I can do that.
This guy is.
No one wants to trusty Breeze, trusty trusty Silk. No one into that, huh? All right. You know what? We'll go ahead and say that this roll will be the particular roll this day that will get a +2 bonus even before I roll it, courtesy of my Blood of the Andal. And as a reminder, this is my Blood of the Andal's ability, so I can choose to re-roll one of the dice and take the take the second result, regardless of how good it is. So that's great. So I guess I will not choose to re-roll any of them. Trusty Tony's, Trusty Breeze, Trusty Silk. All right, there's my luck for the session.
Ashra sort of helpfully pulling the tarp back a little bit, like take up one of the spools and like holding it out, like while making an incredibly impressed face at the man. You're like,
all right,
silk, yeah, I know about that.
About 22, man. 22 good enough for you?
Damn.
Yeah, he sort of looks down there. He looks up again and says, I suppose you come from the south, I take it?
Yes, I have documentation from my father. He said it would be necessary to make the trip to Lannisport.
All right. Sort of walks closer. He had sort of his hand on his hilt before when he approached, seeming really authoritative. Now he seems to relax a little bit. Shoulders a little bit back. Yeah.
Spree will produce the documentation that she acquired in New Garden, or High Garden, shit.
Yeah, all these names. he looks at it, taking a little bit of time to read it, walks off a little bit here, do that thing where he takes it, unfolds it slowly, walks a little bit away reading it, so he looks really sort of as if he's super important, really, doing it, taking his time to look at it. Then walking back in, and to be says, well, seems to be in order then, but just you passed the checkpoint down there.
We have taken the road. Yes, it is the only way I know. Like she like look like she, was there a better way? Should I have taken a
Ocean.
like Bree like looks back at like her companion like back to the van.
Asher just sort of smiles. Yeah, he doesn't seem to particularly good at this sort of lying, so he's just keeping his mouth shut and like smiling and slightly nodding to whatever Bree's saying, sitting on the wagon. Looks a little bit dumb doing it, but maybe that's what he's going for. The officer looks at Bree again. And there was nothing strange when you passed it, or they were just...
Bree blinks and says, this is my first trip to Lannisport. It's my father said that there would be some trouble, but the road has been rather amiable. We passed by their fort. There's people there, and no, everything was. Should there have been? Is there? Should I be worried about?
She looks to someone maybe who has a little more understanding. Sort of eyes move to Ashra, discards him as a possibility. Looks to Alaric, who looks like a big man. And then with Varen says, looks at Varen, looks at Alaric, and says, "It's a lot of guard. You encountered anyone on the road? Or told to look for someone?"
Varen has a puzzled look on his face. Doesn't say anything for now.
Yeah, Alaric gives the same look and looks to Varen again.
Yeah. Varen said something in Valerian to Alaric. Like, I don't know. Supposed to say something?
Horseradishes.
And Alaric just kind of shrugs at him like he totally understands, but in reality he's just shrugging because shrugging.
Yeah, he just frowns and gives sort of a sigh. Maybe this is not his desired post and such. Looking to Ren, who's sort of stalking up behind them.
kind of just been like behind these giant figures, not really like.
Yeah, he hasn't noticed you really. He hasn't noticed Kevin either, allegedly. There was one of the dogs is like sniffing in that direction.
Kind of looks over at him. We encountered anyone? Nothing unusual.
This is mercenaries.
My father said that they would be most useful on the trip here, although I have not really. I personally think my father may have overindulged in protecting his blood, but I cannot complain.
He thinks it's a wise action. You, if you didn't encounter anyone, well, the damn cowards might have been afraid to get near you. I'm asking because there's been some people in the passes down by the further down the road.
Oh.
Been harassing a few traders.
Oh. like the nervous son making his first trip gives like a worried expression, like looks back. People how many? Do they have horses?
I frankly don't know. Don't agree with it.
Oh.
But this is wartime, so Mercenaries, I suppose, are part of it.
Oh. Well, thank you very much for letting me know that. I had thought oh well, I, and then like she gives the impression, or he in this particular case, didn't actually know what to think.
Sure. You'll nod, looking back around, say, oh, when you return, I'd suggest waiting for the sea travel to clear up a little bit, then taking a ship.
Oh, is it? It is still safe in Lannisport, yes?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
We actually have the. As it looks at you, Francis, your father never told you of that. The
he
guards of Lannisport.
I he said that I would be safe there, but it's because you had mentioned war and that there were people perhaps to the south. Well, I am hoping to make a good deal.
And perhaps this is a good moment for someone who is perhaps might know something about what the guards of Lannisport are. But then again, something Sir Asher might know. Probably Alaric too, given his proclivities to knightly circles, and probably having visited. Basically, in the Westerlands, when the Lannisters have like a bastard or something, they need a place to put them because it does happen, and they actually are housed with a few cadet families and such. So, boys will be boys. They usually end up joining what is known as the Guard of Lannisport. It is sort of a one of three existing, almost sort of military guard units in the realms. There are the gold cloaks of King's Landing. Then there are like the Spire Guard of Old Town, and then there are the Lannis Guard, the Lannister personal officers who guard Lannisport. Lannisport is one of these three largest actual cities. Which one is the largest? You're not really sure, because none of you really care about that sort of thing. Maester might talk about it, but who cares about them? And they are very well trained. Officers are generally of noble birth, and their rank is generally akin to like a knight, basically, while the normal guardsmen are still sort of a rank above what you would see a footman or a soldier to be. They can talk down to infantry soldiers, basically, and they're seen as sort of a prestigious unit. They are generally very well equipped, as evident by this man's excellent armoring. They're also very well trained, and they're very well appreciated. They're very good at their job, and that's something that really helps make the Lannisters focus a lot on discipline, and that's something that really helps make Lannisport a city that really doesn't have that much crime. Like, you're fairly safe in it, compared to, for example, King's Landing, or Old Town for that matter. Then again, the city's biggest export, pretty much only export, is golden jewelry and treasury items. So, it's difficult to be a thief when all you can steal is something that'll get you killed. They don't mess around with that sort of thing. Also, it's the Iron Men breathing. The fleet has left to go south, but part of it stayed behind, not enough to really keep the water secure. They will come back soon enough, as soon as the Reach Men send out their fleet to deal with them.
It gives a studious look, tapping her chin as if she totally knows what to do in this situation. Says, well, if it is your good recommendation to wait for sea travel instead of risking the road again, then I think I will do just that. I am sure I will be able to handle that after visiting the market and making great bargains. Are you looking for silk by chance?
She says, I can't talk about that while on duty.
Oh, I apologize. I did not mean to offend you.
So Asher will speak up and says, when the Reachmen join in, you said? Sort of a slightly puzzled look again. He says, yes, it's only a matter of time now. Any day, really. They just need to be sure that there will be no retribution for it. He sort of gives a smile and says, it'll fix everything. The fleet of the Arbor should be quite capable of keeping the Straits safe. And get these Iron Men back where they belong.
That is good. Fighting is bad for this particular kind of business.
Everyone says, yes, very bad. I don't know how to fight. The officer looks a little strangely at him. And says, if you see anything strange, do report it. There might be a reward in place for you.
Oh, like the eyes sort of like glaze over with the thoughts of money, and Bree will happily inquire as to how she goes about the process of who she gets in contact with should she encounter anything suspicious.
Just well, first and foremost, you'll go to the really go to me if necessary, but there's 3 big manors in Lannisport. 2 of them are Lannisters, 1 of them for the guard. You'd go to the guard one. You'd go inquire. You can find it rather easily. Just ask at the gate, and they'll give you directions. You can go there, give a report. You'll be given accommodations for a day or 2. If it is very important and we believe something about it, he sort of stops a little bit and sort of seems to not really like the next thing. Then our commander will speak to you personally and then give you a fitting reward. So between you and me, though, just talk to us, and we'll get you sorted. Do you know anything? Have you seen anyone? Sort of raise an eyebrow. So you should tell me now.
Bree shakes the head. No, but I feel much safe knowing that there are dedicated people like you out here to protect people like me.
He nods. Says, continue on, we'll continue searching. The Kelmaster seems unhappy, standing over there looking at you. His dog is sort of sniffing, and he's moved a little bit over here.
Ah, fuck.
But officer moves back. He moves out of the way as he stands by the side of the road, watching as you go. He sort of moves to go and talk. Kelmaster raises a hand for him to be quiet.
Okay. Well, since they cleared the road, Bree looks back at the rest of the wagon and says, "Let's go, men." And like a piping, authoritative voice that perhaps should not have that much authority.
Asher's like, aha! Reins and make the wagon go.
Man looks over again. That sounded like a noble command. Like frowning.
That's the voice of Bree!
The demon of Caladan!
You move past them, and they sort of, as you have passed them, they begin to they sort of return to the side to get their horses, and then they begin to move further south.
Okay.
Yeah, Bree's lying was pretty good. It's safe to say the least.
Good work, Bree.
Yeah.
Oh, that was heroic, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Heroic line.
Yes.
Asher will add, yes, there was this one time where the Iron Men sacked Lannisport. The guards were sent out on military duty. When they returned, they sailed to the Iron Islands and burned down all the castles of the lords who had participated and took back all the gold that was taken. They are not to be trifled with.
That's an impressive feat. Oh.
Bree gives Lord Tyrell the look which says, "I wish I had known about this sooner, but because you are effectively my lord, I am not going to say anything about it, but I will look at you like it."
Oh, he gives her a smile like, "Oh yeah, I am your lord. I know that."